Okay, I kind of want to ask you a similar question. I mean, you're both facing very dominant champions, of course. So when you watch her fights back, I mean, do you see a commonality that opponents have made, that mistakes that they've made when they've gotten in there?
Yeah, I mean, pretty similar to what Dominic said. You know, each person, you know, is different styles. So I kind of look at them and see how their fight went with her. You know, some of them, a lot have completely different styles than me, so it's a little bit hard to tell, but yeah, I break down some of the fights in my own head, and then before I say what I feel, my coaches break them down and tell me what they say. So we kind of go back and forth, and I like to kind of make my own ideas before I hear their ideas, and together we just kind of make a game plan, and I trust everything they say, and I believe in my abilities and what I'm capable of, and I think with those two, with the game plan and my abilities combined, I think that, you know, I'm pretty confident.
Right. Certainly the biggest fight of your life. I'm curious, like, what's one change, one addition, one thing that was new this time around that you hadn't done before that you feel like is really going to be a key to you winning?
I would say that my last couple fights, I kind of made a couple little changes. I've been sparring a lot more. For me, I know a lot of fighters are tending to veer away from sparring, but for me, I feel like I learn the best if I actually spar. You know, if I hit the mitts and drill things, you know, everyone can do that perfect, but getting the reps in and sparring is kind of, for me, how I learn. So in my last couple fights, I've been sparring a lot more than normal. I used to spar like 3 days a week. Now I'm sparring 5 days a week. But that's kind of what change I made in the last couple fights, but definitely kept that going for this fight, for sure.
And then for Katlyn, I noticed you're wearing an interesting fashion sneakers. What happened? What happened over here?
Limited edition.
It's a good style.
Thank you.
Were they Nikes?
Maybe.
A lot of people, Katlyn, have talked to Dom and asked him about Jon Jones, and Dom has said a few things like, you can't let the fact that you're going up against someone as good as Jon Jones affect you going into the fight, right? You can't let it get into your head. Are they cutting my mic? Are you feeling the same thing about Shevchenko? Do you feel like people have kind of almost defeated themselves before they stepped into the octagon against her?
Yeah, I absolutely did. And, you know, when I watched her fights when they were actually happening, I didn't notice. But going back and, you know, when this fight got definitely signed and I was watching those fights, I kind of noticed the demeanor in some of the opponents' fights compared to when they fight other people. And they did really well. And I think they went into the fight just trying to get through the fight and not really to win. I think it's different to get through a fight, and to win is a totally different mindset. And I think that some of them definitely went into it, you know, a little defeated before and just trying to perform as good as they can, but, you know, a little bit safe and you know, and just trying to be careful, but not necessarily go in there full 100% confidence that they can win.
The fights that were tougher for her, is there anything that you can take from those fights that you can possibly apply on Saturday? And is she as good as people say, do you think, just from watching her film and everything?
Yeah, I mean, Valentina is definitely very good, and that's why she's the champ for a reason, and that's why, you know, everyone knows who she is. But, you know, I think, like, when she had her amazing head kick knockout, everyone saw that and it was like, she's such a killer, she's such a killer. And she is very good, but most of her fights were decisions. So it's kind of like, which makes it great for me because there's a lot of rounds to study. She's had a lot of 5-round decision fights, so more tape for me to study and look and see how she does against different opponents. But you know, I think when a fighter has a crazy knockout, they always expect that for the next fight. But you got to look at not just the highlight reel, the whole fights and everything. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think, like you said, everyone just goes in there as sparring partners. I think when there's a dominant champ, then everyone goes in there and just tries to play their game. And I think the most important part is to go in there and, for me, and just play my game.
And does it bother you the fact that there's perceptions out there that it's Valentina and everybody else, and you're kind of like with everybody else? Is that extra motivation? Because it's like that for the whole division. I
mean, I've been motivated, you know, my whole career, so I don't need other people to tell me stuff or say stuff for extra motivation. But you know, that's just how the game is, and you know, it's not up to me to sit here and tell you guys what I'm gonna do. It's up to me to show you guys on Saturday.